less wealthy individuals are now paying that amount more in rent. Is that about right?
It's an interesting point that you're making, and I'm trying to digest it and have an
And of course,
answer.
it's deed restricted.
Right,
Rent
so-
doesn't go up. It's your ability to qualify within that unit that's the question.
Okay, well, yeah, that's part of my question. So their rent is not going up 8%?
It's not necessarily going up, it is what, the maximum that could be charged on those particular units at those various AMI levels. So it doesn't necessarily mean it's automatically going to go up. It simply means that the owners of those units, whoever that may be, often in these cases for rental units, nonprofit developers, could potentially charge that much more on a per month.
And housing authority is also looking at lower AMIs, because that's the need that we see. And so I'm okay with this because I understand how grants work and it's part of the grant. If you're gonna take the money, you're gonna play the game the way they say. Thank you.
Have council discussion then, as far as if there's a motion or if any.
I did tell staff I wanted to, on record, clarify something. So I had sent an email to a few organizations and business owners asking for, like their average employee pay so that I could gather information on what the workforce is making and compare it to the charts that we have. And in my email, I did incorrectly state that if housed employees earned less than $62,000, that they would not qualify for housing that is required, that we require to developers to build. That is inaccurate, and I just want to hold to what I told the staff. I want to clarify that for the record. I have talked to a few of the people that I've gotten responses from, and yeah, so that is not a limit, it is a threshold. And yeah, I just want to do my part on that. So I apologize for that misinformation that I did spread into this community, and I will be sure to correct it further if it needs to.
Thank you, appreciate you saying that. Any thoughts?
I appreciate that as well, and looking at this chart though, I can tell you that as an employer of where a lot of people feel this is a valuable non-profit service in this community, looking at this chart, what the staff at that organization are making would not qualify. And to your point, Bill, I think I'm really interested in hearing more about, and it sounds like we're having a work session, so I really am appreciative of that, the mechanics of having some option. I get grants as well, right, because I live and die by them, and yeah, you have to play their game, right, you have to do what they say. And I don't really like having my back put against the wall, so thinking through the mechanics of what other options would be if there were opportunities outside of that federal funding, and how as a community we might approach that so that the folks, who are providing these important services, and our first responders and our teachers and our domestic violence advocates and all of these folks, maybe federal funded projects, maybe something that has to fit into that. AMI is one thing, but is there some way as a community that we can explore the reality versus what a chart that's handed down to us from the federal government, that's not reflective of a lot of people's experience. So I'm super appreciative that that's something we're looking into. I know that's probably really hard. It would be a lot easier to just say, well, this is what the feds say, this is what AMI is, and that's where we're at. But I think it's good that you are kind of forward thinking on that. I really appreciate it, and I'm really looking forward to having that conversation about what are the options that we have, if any, to, as a community, kind of go past that minimum standard.
Yeah, and I think, hitting the nail on the head as far as the effects of remote work, this is how we get these numbers of not a real tangible industry, but yet you get such an 8% swing because of that, and how do you contend in this futuristic digital world where you have a whole influx of remote workers years driving up, our averages. So I appreciate us being on top of that and really addressing that. That's gonna be quite a conversation for sure. Any other thoughts or?
I'm all for a motion.
Okay.
I move to approve resolution 2026-16, adopting the 2026 maximum monthly rental and wholesale prices for inclusion in housing units, effective June 2, 2026.
Okay, we have a motion by Councilmember Davenport, seconded by Councilmember Ravinsky, and that is to approve Resolution 2026-16, adopting the 2026 maximum monthly rental and for sale prices for inclusionary housing units, effective June 2nd, 2026. Any further discussion?
Ravinsky,
Yes.
Stevens,
Yes.
Davenport,
Yes.
Fontana,
Yes.
Martin.
My vote is on principle, no.
Schreiner? Yes. Motion passed.
Okay, and we move on to Resolution 2026-17, a resolution of the City Council for the City of Salida, Colorado, amending the 2026.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So this is kind of the second part to what we just discussed. Usually these two things kind of trail after each other. So now that we have officially adopted the for rent and for sale, we have another calculation that we use. And this, they kind of play into each other in a way. So to go back just a little bit, so the fee schedule that is being proposed to be changed is just for the inclusionary housing units that are built as a part of the deed of our inclusionary housing policy, the CAR code. And as a reminder as well, the developer may satisfy the requirement for inclusionary housing units by paying a fee in lieu